Great. We have with us today the unofficial or official bad boy of dance music, DJ Notorious, aka Hardik Vitalani. Hi Hardik,
Thank
how are
you.
you?
I'm good, Elton. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to DJ Mag for having me
Always a
fe
pleasure.
featured on the cover. And now we are here virtually. So I really appreciate you having me on this platform.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So, how have things been for you, Hardik, this year? I mean, 2020, and with all this lockdown and all of this happening.
It was great till February end. And then from March, it was like downhill completely. And I figured out the seriousness of the virus very, very early. And I was wearing a mask at the airport from Jan. I think 25th Jan, I was traveling to Bangalore. I was wearing a mask and I put a picture, and people were laughing at me, and people were commenting that you're so scared, and is this even necessary? And now look at where we are. So I didn't know the impact is going to be so much, but it was serious. I went to Dubai also after that, and I was really, really scared because Dubai was like, a lot of people contracted the disease there.
Yes.
But luckily, nothing has happened. So
I really hope that it stays that way, and I wish that all of us and as many of us from the industry and in the country, in the world, just manage to, stay healthy
yeah.
and kind of ward this virus away. Right. So, Hardik, tell us, what have you been up to in terms of your music production, in terms of, interacting with your fans online?
I think we went into lockdown on 24th. By 1st April, I went into, doing live stream. My major aim to do live stream at that point was to do genres that I could not do otherwise. I'm a Bollywood DJ. It's always been a pressure to play Bollywood music. So I used to play in England earlier when I started my career back in 2000. So I used to play trance and Euro trance, the kind of music that Paul Van Dyk and, Above and Beyond and those kind of people play.
Yes.
And I've done that project. It's there's another alias called Northern Light, okay, for this particular music. And I did that on somebody else's Instagram, because if I do it on my page, then people are just looking for Bollywood music, So that went off well, and then I do my Bollywood stream once a week. So I do it once Friday night, and I do 5-6 hour sets Bollywood. Okay,
wow.
I play till 4-5, whatever. I don't care if there are 40 people, 70 people. After a point, I'm just enjoying myself. I did a turntable set. As you know, I have a set of turntables. And I was hardcore into turntablism, So I did a turntable set, then I did a 90s pop set, Serious Girl and Informer, and that my kind of my type of music.
Vanilla Ice and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, Kylie Minogue and Enrique and all that.
Correct.
And recently I did an 80s disco set. So yeah, that is that in terms of streaming. I also did stuff for other companies, like I did for Times Music, I did for SL World, So right now, I think we just need to help each other. Every company or maybe a club is trying to engage their audience,
Right.
And I think all we can do is support them, because they have no revenue coming in right now. None of these clubs are making any money. And if they need to engage some audience, and if they need some help from us, then we just have to play from home. Yeah. And in terms of production, I'm releasing a couple of remixes. See, there are no new movies that have come out, and I don't do bootlegs. So in terms of official remixes, the last couple of releases that Z had, we're releasing those songs.
Okay.
And I'm refreshing my knowledge of softwares and sorting my music and all. That's all we can do. Yeah.
True. So, in fact, we really would want to know more about Northern Lights. As Northern Lights, what kind of music are you putting out? A, B, how much of it have you been able to connect with the audience in India?
When I was back in England, I was doing my sound recording. I was learning, all the technical aspects of setting up studio sound and all that. And I also was, I got a chance to DJ in England. Now, there was only vinyls that people used to play by that point of time. So I collected a lot of vinyls, and most of the music was Euro dance, Euro trance, the kind of stuff that Paul Oakenfold, Paul Van Dyk, Seth Fontaine. There was no Tiesto, there was no Hardwell, there was no Armin van Buuren. People don't know, none of these guys existed. Nobody knew them. There was a guy called Judge Jules from
Judge
England.
Jules, yes, yes, very
So
much.
Judge Jules was a radio DJ, and he was so popular in Ibiza. So I went to Ibiza in 2000,
Okay,
21 years back. And
okay.
the kind of scene I saw there, I was flabbergasted. I said, there is a whole island and the whole economy runs on nightclub
Just
business.
dance music, right,
And DJs were superstars. Okay.
right,
Means there was real following. People used to come to the island not to
right,
celebrate their bachelorette or whatever. They used to come to listen to music. And
right.
then once they finished playing, the next day they used to sell cassettes of the set they played last night. So the kind of music that I used to collect was Eurotrance, everything
Okay.
that was on vinyl. And then that was the kind of genre that was doing pretty well in UK at that time.
Hmm.
So was two-step garage, which is a genre which is dead now, I think. So I started playing that, and then when I
Right.
came to India, I tried to, impart that music here, but sadly there were no takers 20 years back.
Right.
And in India, the problem is that trance people, there is a market for techno or tech house or deep house, and then trance goes into psychedelic in terms of events and all. I mean, if there's a
Correct.
trance party, it's going to be a
Right.
psychedelic trance party. It won't be this kind of a music. And I have tested the waters. There's honestly not too much audience for it. You have to build an
Right.
audience.
So if you can just let us know a bit of how that phase of transition was for you from, being originally being Northern Lights
Hmm.
to, transitioning into being DJ Notorious, who, became so famous and now still reigns so famous as the Bollywood DJ. So
Right.
what was that phase of transition? How did you go about it? And what were the changes that you need to bring into your sense of musicality
Hmm.
and your sense of understanding the crowd?
Obviously, when I came back from UK and I auditioned at a few clubs for a job, some big clubs, and I had all my music, and I didn't know how to play CDs. I was a turntable DJ, so I used to take my turntables and my vinyls and used to go and audition. The kind of music that I played, the clubs were not looking for that at that point of time.
Right.
So early back then, it was all pop music and Bollywood music.
Correct.
So I was thrown out of a couple of clubs. Okay, like that this is not what you're looking for. And I had a choice to make. It was not about the money that okay, there's no money in it and there's money in Bollywood. That there was no money in Bollywood also back then. I mean, there was not that
Mm,
much money in DJing either.
mm,
But the point is that if I at that point chose to remain a DJ who played Eurotrance and get
mm,
no gigs at all and play at home, I
mm.
would not get a chance to play in front of an audience. And that was very, very clear very early on. So I needed to, do physical, actual, real gigs, instead of just making myself happy. And then obviously Bollywood was the go-to genre. It's not that I hate Bollywood. I love Bollywood, but
Mm.
I was doing something different at that time. And I had to make a transition. And
Correct.
I think that served very well. And what it has done is that being a Bollywood DJ, nobody has accepted me in the alternate scene. You know,
Right.
so so when I went, I was invited to play in Ibiza in 2016
Mm.
at Bora Bora.
Yes.
People were shocked that is a Bollywood DJ. He's playing tech house in Ibiza, but they don't know that I started from England. I started from Ibiza. I started with
Right.
non-Bollywood genre. And
Right.
it's just that you don't know my backstory. So as Eurotrance is a very different genre. Even from the
Right.
mainstream, or techno or whatever is going on right now.
Right.
Euro is completely different. It was like 7 minute songs, and
Right.
lot of breaks and lot of these melodious keys and pads, and these amazing sounds. It's like a dream. It puts you in a dream kind of a thing.
Yes.
Bollywood is 3 minute songs, lots of vocals.
Correct.
So and people want to hear the vocals, sing along. So
Right.
early on it was a little difficult for me,
Mm.
but then I understood, as you learn, as you play more gigs, you
Mm.
realize that this is what people want. And Bollywood is a people's genre. You are not playing for yourself. Now
Right.
in a genre like Eurotrance, you can play whatever you want for 2.5 hours. People are going to follow. They're following your music, and they're going to follow that.
Right.
Bollywood, there is a very particular thing that people want this, people want that. So it was a
Correct.
difficult transition,
Mm.
but it was a transition that had to be made, at that
Right.
point in time. So one of
Yeah.
the reasons I made the transition was there was no appreciation for that music. Forget about the money part of it, forget about the gigs. I'm talking about there was no appreciation for that kind of music. I was a
Right.
turntablist. I used to do scratching. I had a band. People talk about a DJ based band. I had a band called Beat Techniques Crew back in 2002. Turntablist, tabla, percussion, bass, flute.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
But zero appreciation. You'd go to a gig, we ask for 8, 10 mics, they will give us 4 mics. There is no sound engineer, there is no PA mixer, there are no DI boxes. And it was like
Wow.
yeah, there was a whole fusion thing. I would scratch and then tabla guy would, plays tabla percussion. We had a lot of things going on.
Right.
The kind of effort that we put in,
Hmm.
and the kind of response or the interest that we were getting, it was disappointing. Now, what has happened in the last 5, 6 years, there are venues which have evolved and they give
Yes.
platform. Like there was Blue Frog, there was Zenzi, they used to give platform to alternative fusion kind of music.
Yes. Yes.
Back then, in 2001, 2, there was nobody. So I think you don't have, I don't have that much patience that, I'm going to keep running a project which is not going anywhere for 15 years.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
And how did that whole production aspect come into the picture? Since the past uh, quite a few years, you've been known as the official Bollywood remixer. So
Right.
how did that aspect come into the picture?
And I'm a trained musician since childhood. I have learned I used to play bongas. I used to play congas after that in school. I was a part of the school band, and I used to do stage shows. I used to
Mhm.
perform for my school all over Goa. I've lived in Goa for 8 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm like half Goan. I think I was pretty talented. So the music teacher, they used to do shows outside. They in Goa used to, in Panjim and in Margao and in Vasco, they used
Hmm.
to have on the main square. They used to
Hmm.
put up a stage.
Hmm.
They used to do a orchestra, and it used to be called a beat show. I was the one of the smaller attractions that a young boy, 8, 9 year old boy, is playing in a big band. So I've been on stage since childhood. Then
Okay.
I went to England, as I mentioned. I was very interested in sound recording and studio mixing. I did a short course. I learned turntablism in UK. I learned DJing with Joe Azredo here. And I have always trained in all the possible, software. I mean, I've learned Cubase, I've learned Ableton and all. So now the point of production coming in. So again, back in 2001, 2, we didn't have social media, and
Right.
you would play in a club and play a good, and then probably hope that you will get another gig. Another way of becoming famous was to produce remixes, and Akbar Sami had come out with Jalwa, and Nasha had come out with Flute Fantasy and everything. So that was the transition. I'll tell you how I landed a deal with Times Music. So the thing is that I went to Times Music War of DJs and
Hmm.
participated, and I knew only turntables.
Hmm.
So I went and I played my whole turntable scratching set, and more than scratching, I used to do a lot of tricks. I
Right.
used to put the record on fire. I used a cue stick to scratch. I used to cover
Oh,
my
wow.
face, and
Okay.
blindfolded, I would beat juggle and everything. Now,
Okay.
nobody had seen this. They were flabbergasted. I mean, see, scratching is too technical, but showmanship on turntables was something different. And I did not win. I was a runner-up. I was a Mumbai runner-up. Now, Times Music saw that this guy is talented. Let us give him a opportunity to perform next year. So the following year, they put me as a showcase artist, not to participate, but to show these skills to the
Okay.
media. Okay,
Okay.
when they were doing the Times Music press conference, then Times Music guys called me to office and they said, "You are very talented. We want to offer you a album, like a remix, not an album, like
Okay.
a remix song for Times Music."
Okay.
So it was like my skills on turntables gave me like a opportunity to get into Times Music. I did not approach them,
Okay. Okay.
but they saw all this and they said this guy is very talented, and we should have him on board. And they
Okay.
offered me a song and did the remix, and it was selected, and that's the first song that came out 2003, called
Right.
Jab Andhera Hota Hai,
Mhm.
on Times Music War of DJs album. And yeah, since then I was with Times with Music for 5 years and everything. So that
Okay.
was with Times Music. After that, the film part comes in. Okay.
Right.
So 2007 or 8, there was a movie called Jannat. So I was approached to remix the song. I did it, submitted it, but there was some politics at play, I believe so. and the
Okay.
song last minute was, rejected from the album. Now,
Okay.
after that, I have spent 2.5, 3 years chasing every possible music director, producer, possibly actors, film directors to
Hmm.
land a song in a movie. But then I kind of gave up. I said, that this is not cutting it. You're just sitting in producer's office. I used to sit in a producer's office for 10 hours a day, 10
Hmm.
hours, 12 hours. For months and months, I've gone and sat there just to land one remix, but it didn't happen. It's okay. People, they just see, oh, you're doing this, but nobody knows the backstory, the number of hours and the
Exactly.
number of years I've spent,
Yes.
I even to get a gig, I used to go and stand in Velocity for 1 year. Thrice a week, I used to
Wow.
travel from my home in Kandivali to Tardev. Used to go and stand there outside the console. Never got a chance to play. So continuing with the remix part of it. Few years later, 2014, the actor Varun Dhawan, right? So he had
Hmm.
heard of Jab Andhera Hota Hai,
Ah.
and his management approached me and they called me to the set of this movie called Main Tera Hero.
Hmm.
There is a song called Besharmi Ki Height. They were shooting. So he called me and he said, "Ki bro, I really like Chavandera and I've heard about you and
Hmm.
everything. So would you like to remix this song?" So from
Hmm.
there on, 2014, Main Tera Hero was my first song.
Hmm.
And then I'll be honest with you, it's not that offers have fallen. I have approached every single music company after that, and said that, I have done a song in this movie and I would
Right.
like to work with you. Some of
Right.
them worked out, some of them didn't work out.
This is exactly what we wanted to get across.
Hmm.
While everyone looks at the glitz and the glamour of it, it's the backstory, it's the struggle, it's the knowledge that yes, everyone has to go through the grind,
Absolutely.
and that is exactly what needs to come across. So thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people would choose to focus on the positive and the rosy gold side of it, but
Hmm.
you've gone ahead and you've shared the struggle, so thank
Great.
you for that.
No, and I'll just want to make one thing clear that I have absolutely no grudges or no this thing against or about anyone, who has not
Hmm.
given me any kind of work in the past.
Right.
People think that, there was a interview I did with someone and he said, "Oh, this DJ didn't, keep you on a job. Are
Yeah.
you like, do you have a grudge against him?" I said, "I don't.
Hmm.
The reason being that if I would have probably been employed by one of the DJs, I would have not charted my own path,
Right.
because I got rejected at some point for whatever reason. So I
Right.
decided to do I take it in a positive way. This is nothing negative. Everything happens for a reason.
Correct.
And, it kind of, it's like a propulsion to push you further. Some
Correct.
rejections actually help you to, make you stronger and take things forward. So I think it was all fine. And, the thing is that I have not done anything in my life except music. I actually don't know anything else. Since
Right.
school, I've been just doing music. Then I did sound recording, DJing, this, that. So all I've done is music. It's been, I mean, if I count DJing is 20, 21 years,
Hmm.
but music is just since the age of 8. So now I'm
Right.
40. So you're looking at, 32 years of being involved with music in some way or the other.
Right.
And I still play
Right.
percussion at home. My plan was to add percussion in my DJ sets, do a live thing.
Okay.
But the lockdown came in. Let's hope things get resolved and I can showcase that side of me, to the audience.
Well, of course, I'm pretty sure you will have the opportunity sometime or the other. So I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll work out. So how has your workflow evolved? What did you start working with, and in the current moment, what are you working with right now? In terms of software and
Yeah.
hardware in production.
Anything that I have done, I've always
Right.
trained for it. I've not learned like 10 softwares. I know two softwares. One is
Right.
Cubase, which I learned with Amit Das.
Right.
I did a full-fledged course. My belief is that when you have a tutor, and when you learn the right way, then you will make lesser mistakes. I'm not saying that people who learn DJing on their own are, any less talented, but my whole concept was to, learn everything in the right way. So a guy like Joe Azeredo, my guru, the kind of experience he had and the way he has taught me, there are so many things that I see with certain resident DJs, small technical things that they don't know. What I was trying to say is that I learned everything. So then I learned Cubase initially because Cubase was the software where the production, that is the time most of the producers were using Cubase. And I trained with Amit Das. and Arya at the academy. Now I moved on to Ableton, so it's much simpler. So also one more thing people don't know, I used to perform with Shan, the singer. Okay,
Okay.
so we used to do Ableton live. So what he would do is Shan wanted a smaller band, and he said that I want to eliminate the percussion and the rhythm part of it. So you play the rhythm from the computer. So I learned Ableton live. Okay, and I had a hardware, and I used to perform with him. And now the production is also on Ableton. So
Right.
it's so much simpler than Cubase is.
Right. How is the hardware part of it, like your studio setup? How has that evolved over the years?
So the first song that we made, Jab Andhera Hota Hai, we had the Roland 808 drum machine.
Wow.
All we did everything on hardware. There was no
Right.
software.
Right.
303 and the 808s and all. So the
808.
sounds, the punch, and the warmth of the kick, and
True.
even mixed down, the compression and everything
Correct.
everything was analog. It was a fun time. It was a difficult time. Now you have
Right.
access to every possible sound, and you just drag and drop things, and songs are made. It's much easier now.
Right.
Not to take away anything from these softwares, it's made our life easier. But
Correct.
that was the transition that I missed. Real drum machines, real synthesizers. Now
Right.
everything is on the computer.
So now when you sit down to produce music,
Hmm.
do you put in a lot more effort into researching the perfect kind of sound that you want, the perfect kind of sample that you want?
So I'll be very honest with you that Bollywood, first thing I do remixes. Okay.
Right.
So the song is already ready. All the
Right.
you just have to, like, it's in a certain key. It's recorded in a certain key and everything. So you have everything ready. So you just have to
Right.
remix it.
Right.
Plus, Bollywood has a certain, like for Bollywood remixes, there is a certain sound that is already set and accepted, for
Correct.
DJs to play in nightclubs.
Right.
So I don't try to experiment too much with it.
Hmm.
I keep it simple. I produce a Bollywood song,
Hmm.
considering that it has to get selected by
Right.
the music company
Hmm.
for it to be coming on television, because they're going to put it on TV, for it
Correct.
to be going on these streaming platforms, for
Right.
it to be coming on their YouTube, and
Right.
for the caller tune, and for the DJs to play in the clubs.
Right.
So if I make something very, very complicated, different, I try to do dubstep or whatever, even though if I want to, I know that it might not be accepted by the music company. So I try to keep it simple. And even in my DJing sets, I
Hmm.
try to keep the mixes, even whatever mixes I'm playing, they are not mine. Okay, I download
Right.
mixes for other DJs who make it, because I don't do bootlegs. But I try to put those mixes in my sets which are very, very clean. Okay, it has a nice good kick, nice good bass line, and
Hmm.
vocals are upfront and clear. That's
Hmm.
that's how Bollywood works. That's how people who dance in nightclubs want to hear the vocals and want a simple linear kind of a mix.
You've been very hands-on when it comes to turntablism in the past. Have you been experimenting or trying to get more of turntablism in your performances, or have you had any kind of plan for that?
I have digital vinyls here.
Right.
I got it from US. I got new cartridges, though I have 5 other cartridges, but I got new cartridges. I got a new laptop, a 15-inch 1 TB laptop, just for this, so that I can
Okay.
digitally, use turntables. But I'm killing myself because I don't have a digital mixer, and with the lockdown, there is no way to source it. I have
Correct.
an analog mixer, which is the Westex PMC07, which is a scratch mixer. It's a
Right.
battle mixer, and even that is not working right now.
Oh,
But
well.
I'm trying to call my friends to see if anyone can lend me a digital mixer, so I can in this lockdown figure the
Correct.
software, and then probably my one of my interests was to play Bollywood on
Hmm.
turntables,
Right. Okay.
and that is possible.
Right.
But let's see now when I can get my hands on a digital mixer. When the shops open, I'll buy it, and then I think the gigs are not going to be starting very soon.
So, Hardik, what do you think is the future for performances? How do you think artists will be able to get across to their existing fan base? And more importantly, how do you think an artist would be able to increase their reach to more and more people?
So I don't want to sound, like a negative person,
Hmm.
or, you know, but the the fact is, and people have to wake up and understand and accept it, that live gig thing is not going to come back for a long, long time.
Right.
Okay. Uh, First things first, the longer the shutdown remains, the more venues will shut down. They will go bankrupt. So, for all you know, by the end of this, when the clubs or restaurants are allowed to open, you might not have 50 to 60% of the clubs, bars existing anymore. We would have
Right.
probably not, again, I don't want to sound negative, but we
Hmm.
have to understand that this might be the reality. Whoever survives will be told to operate at 30, 40% capacity, correct?
Correct.
With all these hygiene issues and everything, which is going to drive up their costs. So it won't be feasible for any of these venues to pay this kind of salary and rent and then have only 30% audience coming in.
Right.
It's not going to be financially making any sense to them.
Right.
So even that is not. And after that, even if somebody manages to operate certain venues, they're not going to hire guest DJs. If the
True.
revenues are so low, they're just going to make do with a resident DJ that they have.
Right.
So DJs like us who are traveling and doing guest sets, it's going to be really hard. DJs who
Right.
are residents, and if their clubs survive and they are there on a salary, then they might be, told to take a lesser salary, but something will be coming in for them.
Right.
Second part is traveling. Uh, if there is a green zone like Goa, you might not be allowed to go from Mumbai to Goa. They might
Right.
put a restriction on that. All of
Right.
us DJs were traveling in Calcutta, Delhi, and all. There will be restrictions. There might be quarantine. We don't know how it's going to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
International tours, out of the question right now. I used to play
True.
US every year. I have a contract in Dubai with Ux, 5 gigs a year. I don't know when I'm going to, remove my passport from
Well,
the cover.
exactly. Yeah, man.
Right. So
Hmm.
this is where we are. Weddings, 50% 50 people wedding is the norm right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll increase it to 100, 150. For 100 people, they're not going to
True.
have a hardcore big setup and LEDs and DJs and all. They might just have
Exactly.
a regular DJ, and that'll be. Corporates, they realize that they can do everything on Zoom call. So corporate is not going to
Very
happen,
much so. Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
corporates, and the kind of money that corporates have lost this year, they're definitely are not organizing any events.
Absolutely. Yes.
Colleges, out of the question.
Right.
What else? Festivals, not going to happen this year. No
Correct.
Diwali, no Holi, no Durga Puja, nothing.
True.
So now, how do DJs monetize this?
Right.
Online streaming. Everybody, all of us DJs are putting our heads to it. We are trying to figure it out, but
Right.
it's not been that easy to rope
Right.
in a sponsor or a liquor company to sponsor or pay an artist for
Hmm.
having only 100 people watching or 80 people watching or 200 people watching. So that's the thing. And there will be a small section of private parties or corporate parties that will happen, where a
Hmm.
certain DJ will be hired to exclusively play
Hmm.
for a corporate or a private event, but the
Hmm.
number will be very small.
Hmm.
So that is what
That's
we are
all.
looking at. And the other way to do is to make it a private event, and give a
Hmm.
code and people to pay a certain amount of money to get that code and access the party. The
Right.
problem is that all the DJs are doing their live streams, including me, you know
Correct.
anyways, free of cost. So if
Right.
I say that this Sunday I'm hosting a private party for you guys, you pay $500 and come in, they will just wait for 4 days till I go live on my stream.
True. Well, that's a
Correct.
sad situation of things, actually.
And if you don't do the live stream for your audience, then you're kind of forgotten. So you are in a catch
Correct.
22 situation. And I'll be honest with you, people have very little attention span on digital platforms. If you're on the
Correct.
phone, you're watching the live stream, your girlfriend messages you on WhatsApp, you're going to log out of
Right.
Instagram live and you're going to chat with your girlfriend. You
Right.
get a call from office, you have food to make. It's hard, man. You are
Exactly.
at
Yes.
the you're just
Mercy
swipe
of the
away.
phone. Right.
You're just one swipe away.
Right.
And there are hundreds. So what happened is, I'll be honest with you, there were DJs who used to play in clubs, and there were DJs who were not that popular and they didn't get gigs. Now it's become a level playing field for everyone. Everybody
Correct.
can stream from home.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter if it's Notorious or XYZ DJ, if I
Hmm.
am doing something and, maybe 11 o'clock is too late. I want to go to sleep. 9 o'clock, okay. They will just go put their Facebook on. Somebody else is playing at 9 o'clock. How
Correct.
is it
Yeah.
going to matter? What happens
True.
is when you go to a venue or a club or an event, you dedicate those 3 hours. You get ready, you remove your car, you call your friends, you make a plan, you pay
Right.
an entry, you go to a club, you buy
Correct.
drinks, you get an
Correct.
experience. It's called live experience.
Right.
Here you are not, you are in your pajamas, you're in your shorts, probably you are in your undies, scrolling through the phone.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, yeah, this is boring. Let me just swipe up.
Correct.
That is why it's hard to make money. So, as we know that the authorities and the government in India, wherever, the state or center, for them, nightclub business, alcohol business, hospitality is probably last on their mind.
Hmm.
They don't think it's so important. We've
Right.
seen the apathy towards nightlife over the years.
Correct.
And we've seen how the timings of the clubs are, how much licensing we need, and all those
Correct.
kind of issues. So when the lockdown opens, it's not going to be that, oh, they're going to say, oh, everything is open now, let's open the restaurants and clubs and everything.
Right.
Second thing, you're looking at a non-AC, performance venue, then you're looking at an outdoor venue.
Right.
We're looking at an outdoor venue, we already have issues with timing, 10 o'clock.
Correct.
You
Correct.
understand the problems?
Right. Right.
See, I read about the New Zealand government, the Australian government, Sweden has not shut down. They have their bars open with,
Correct.
social distancing and everything.
Right.
But I don't think the government has that anywhere close to, even a hint of in priority list, in their priority list at all.
Right. Right.
It's going to be difficult. It has to be accepted that there is not going to be a gig for a long, long time.
Correct.
And if you can manage to make money digitally, which looks difficult, it's not impossible, but
Hmm.
it's probably going to be 10-20% of money that you ever made, as a live DJ.
Right.
If you can sustain with that, then good for you.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's better you start looking for an alternative way of making money. And this is the
Right.
reality. We cannot fool ourselves and just sit at home and wait for things to open.
Moving forward from this, um, what is the next step for you as an artist?
Right. So I'm doing as much as I can to be relevant as a DJ,
Right.
so that whenever this opens, even 6-8 months down the line, I'm not forgotten.
Right.
But and I'm trying to source gigs here and there online.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
not that easy. But yeah, I am also looking at alternative. Even Bollywood is closed right now, and there is
Right.
no content coming out. Music companies are losing money because they
Right.
have signed, is what I know, is all the music companies have signed with producers and bought music rights for crores and crores of rupees. And
Right.
now those songs are not even shot.
Right.
Okay, there's no shooting happened. Some of the songs are shot but not ready, not edited, so
Right.
they can't release it. The revenue model for a music company is to release a song on YouTube and then
Right.
monetize it on YouTube, as well as downloads and everything on all
Correct.
the streaming apps.
Apps.
The
Right.
problem is that they have paid advances through the year, bought so many film car rights,
Right.
but now those films are stuck.
Correct.
So even music companies are in a problem. So
Right.
even till Bollywood comes back, I mean, even if I do remixes,
Hmm.
what do I do remixes for? We don't have any songs. As I said, I've done only music since childhood, so there is no question
Right.
of going away from it. It's been
Right.
21 years as a DJ and then another whatever years as a musician, whatever I have done.
Right. Right.
It's not that you can start working in a bank from tomorrow. You can't. You have
Correct.
put so many years. We're not even qualified to
Right.
do that,
Right.
right? So I am going to be with music in some form or the other.
Right.
But let's see how it goes. Nobody has any answers right now because nobody is sure what is going to happen. People might think I'm sounding negative and all, but if you live in denial and
Correct.
don't do anything about it and just sit and say, okay, things are going to figure itself out, then I
Hmm.
think then you might be a little behind in the race. So you need to be ahead of it and figure this out and
Right.
accept the reality that's going to happen, instead of living in a dream world. I think till the time a reliable format is set, that
Hmm.
somebody organizes an online concert. Like I heard Sonu Nigam is doing a concert with Book My Show online.
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
sure 100% he is getting paid, he's not,
Right.
obviously he's not going to do something for free.
Right.
Or then you can have a revenue sharing thing with a certain platform.
I think in all of this, the communication plays a very important role. So if the communication of the concept is good enough to excite people, then such concepts or such initiatives may have a chance then. And change has to begin somewhere. So probably if we don't have any solution right now, I think the solution will come about somewhere or the other, because it's only when you're driven up against the wall will you find a way to push back.
There's one thing that you can do is that you can put out a link and tell people, if you liked the experience tonight, then put in
Right.
some money. The
Correct.
point is to get them to that show, let them watch it,
Right.
let them decide if they enjoyed, and voluntarily, if they are okay with it,
Be willing to
whatever
pay
they
for it.
feel is worth,
Right. Right.
then that might work. That okay, people
Correct.
say, oh, he's also an artist, he's entertaining us, let us just give out some some kind of money in that. But I
Correct.
really don't know, we have not tested that, and so
True.
maybe that is one thing that can work, but I don't know how many artists are willing to do that, and I don't think I'm also ready for that. But at some point,
Correct.
you might have to take a call.
Whatever solution that does come out of this, hopefully it will be something that is efficient, something that safeguards the self-respect and the self-value of artists, and also proves to be beneficial for everyone, including the artist and the platform that is hosting. Well, is there anything else that you would want to share about what you have planned for the future, whether it's your online performances or anything of that sort? Something to keep the fans, excited about?
Yeah, so I'm just doing different genres, as many genres as possible, right
Right,
now, because I
right,
have the opportunity. I don't have any restriction to play Bollywood because I'm not in a venue. So I'm trying to engage in that space, and also, increasing my knowledge of genres. I mean,
right,
playing the 80s or the 90s, it's kind of refreshing all my memories, like homework that's
right.
being refreshed again. And I'm trying to get hold of a digital mixer as soon as things open up, and then probably I'll
Great.
be doing the Bollywood sets on
Okay.
turntables. So the Friday streams that I do, there is a loyal audience that comes in,
Right.
and even if I play till 5 in the morning, there are a certain number of people who are there. I
Correct.
can't believe they have made a fan club on Instagram. These people who
Is it?
come,
Oh, lovely.
yeah, and they share, that okay, are you ready? It's gonna be 11 o'clock. The people have wrote to me that we've taken a shower, we've made our drinks, and we are waiting for you to come in. I'm not
Okay.
joking. I can't believe I said, yeah, who the hell is going to do all this? If I was following someone, I'm not gonna keep a check what time this guy is gonna be. People are
Lovely.
messaging me. I had internet issues last Friday, and there
Right.
was a stream of messages that why are you not online and what happened, and go live on your 4G and it's fine. The video quality is bad, but I was like, you guys are actually waiting for me.
No,
But
that's
it's
that's
true.
lovely. I mean, that in
Yeah,
itself is so
I am not
encouraging.
joking. It's nice for us because it's very hard for an artist to
Correct.
sit in the studio, face a wall, and play when you're used to playing for an audience. Yesterday I
Correct.
posted my video of the after movie of Imagica, the New Year that I did,
Right.
and I had tears in my eyes. 12,500 people on
Correct.
New Year's, and I really
Correct.
don't know when we are going to see that kind of audience together in one space.
Right. Well, let's be hopeful. Let's be hopeful
Hope,
that it's
pray, yeah,
sooner rather than later.
it should be.
So
I think there is a way that things get sorted out on its own. So I think
yes.
it will.
Well, let's hope for the best. And again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing a lot of very insightful details on a range of topics. And I wish you really the very best. And
Thank
hopefully, we'll get to see a lot of new stuff from you.
Yes. Thank you,
And
Elton. I want to, take this opportunity to thank your magazine, and thank you for initially featuring me on the cover and having such a detailed interview. And today also, such an amazing, technically, like nowadays, whatever we are doing is all fun and musty and, nothing technical. But this
Right.
was a lot of fun. And thank you that you thought of me being worthy to be on this platform and having me have a nice chat with you. Thank you for
My
having
pleasure
me.
always. My pleasure
Thanks
always.
for supporting the DJ community for so many years.
Well, it has been our endeavor and it will continue to be. It's just that we are looking to DJs and not just the top rung DJs. I mean all DJs of all,
Absolutely.
cadres and of all in all walks of life. We want them to step forward and help us to support them.
I have to show
So
you something. Wait,
right,
the cover that we did, I have
right.
framed it and I have put it on the. 1 second, let me.
Oh, wow, lovely, lovely, lovely.
This is the cover that we did. I
Yes.
took the liberty to tear one of the covers and make
Oh, lovely, man. It's
I
just
framed
it's
it
an
and I put it
honor.
on my wall. I put it on my wall. So, so
It,
that's what it means to me to be on the cover of Disc Jockey magazine.
well,
And
it was an
again, thank you
absolute
for supporting
pleasure.
us. Likewise,
Absolute pleasure. Thanks a
likewise.
lot, Hardik. We will definitely speak again. And
Definitely looking
hopefully
forward to that.
that'll be, yes, hopefully that'll be in much brighter times,
Brighter
positive
times.
times.
Will be,
Yes,
sure.
yes. Cheers.
All right.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, Elton. Thank you, brother.
Thanks.